word go. You guys, like I say, y'all are calling this the 407 to 70 MASH because it reminds you of MASH, right?
Well, because the initials of our show, The Misadventures of Sherlock Holmes, is MOSH. So we started calling ourselves the 4077th.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's easier to understand now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, I always got reminded because I used to watch that show on a regular basis.
Oh, me too.
Everybody did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Best show, yeah.
Still somewhere on, I have the last episode on tape somewhere.
Yeah.
You remember videotape, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do y'all do a lot of scary type works?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got stuff for Halloween that we're producing, and I actually have a scary Christmas thing that's going to be coming out right before Christmas too. So we got to work on that yet, but it's going to be coming. But
sequel to last year's Scary Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, last time I talked to you guys, y'all said y'all were making your work available online.
Yep.
Now I got to know, are y'all still making it? I mean, you weren't charging for it yet. In other words,
oh no.
Are y'all still doing the same thing?
Oh yeah, it's all free. It's all free. You go right on the 4077th.blogspot.com, and all of our productions are there. Yes, and then the poetry and stories that I do, like I did for Linnea Lee, and I do for so many other poets and authors, are on my website on the it's www.victoraurelius.com. And there's a page on there that says Whispers from the Voice and Videos from the Voice. And those are all the MP3s and poems and stories I've done for authors, poets, for our Whispers in the Dark show on Blog Talk Radio.
Yes.
So both websites, all of our stuff's between both of the websites.
Yes.
But all the production things that Jeff and I have done are all on the 4077 site. And we've been really busy because we did so many episodes of different shows now, and we've got so many continuing things now. So we did a series called Lilith's Children 2 years ago. We did that, and that ran 10 episodes, and we plan eventually to do a second season of that. And we're doing now a series called Victoria, Empress of the Universe.
Yes.
And we did 3 episodes of that, and I'm working on the 4th one now, so that may come out probably either by the end of the year or maybe early next year. And then Jeff and I are also working on a bunch of these short episodes called Jeff Niles Presents, which are little scary little stories that we're doing now. We did one last month that was called 2:30 Appointment. And then we've got one that's coming out this month that's called Clucks at Night, which is about a vampire chicken that a friend of ours, Rocky Carledge, wrote, and we're producing it as an audio drama. And it's actually really good. It's actually a serious little story about a vampire chicken. So it takes place on a farm, and it's a fun little story. So we'll have that out before Halloween this month.
Wow.
So, but we've
got a lot of stuff we're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And then I gave you a lot of MP3s there of different projects we've done over the last few months to the last year. So we're
I've got these loaded and ready to play.
Very cool.
And I'm really pleased that y'all are going to be able to hear it with me. That kind of bothered me that y'all couldn't hear it through the Skype. I had no idea that the code had to be up at the site for this y'all to hear it on your end. But okay, if that's the way it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is like I say, it's just a hobby for you guys. Y'all really enjoy doing it. And well, so are you guys both single, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That would explain it.
It's just something we do just to keep busy. So.
Well, yeah, because most guys like me that are married and have kids, they don't have that kind of time to devote.
I was going to say, you don't have the time.
So
I'm
that's
retired.
why I thought that maybe you weren't married.
No, it's just we're both retired, and it's just it's just something to keep us busy. It's just I enjoy writing and producing, and Jeff enjoys producing and acting, and it's just so we both love doing voice work, and it's just something just to keep us busy.
Ever think about going to the neighborhood community centers or churches and doing anything live?
Well, Jeff has done and still does some live events. He does. He's done theater for a long time.
Oh yeah, I was a stage actor for most of my career.
Wow.
Yeah, for over 40 years.
You gotta really enjoy it to keep after it like y'all do. I gotta tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I'll be honest with you. I don't make anything off of this show per se. Maybe $20 every 3 months. I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
That's why we do it.
Yeah. I'd drive my wife and kids totally insane if I didn't have a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we do our productions and we do the radio show, and we've been busy with that every other week doing all these radio episodes. This month we've got about 9. Well, including this show tonight with you, but we've got like 9 radio shows we're doing this month. So
a few,
yeah. But normally we do one every other week. But this month for Halloween, they just need us all over the place. So
yeah, you do know for future reference that you'll probably hear from me around Halloween time.
Yep.
If you don't any other time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you guys like Linnea. What's Halloween without your voiceovers?
That's it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But here, let's play the one titled Lynn Gibson, Victor Aurelius, Dark 5. Now, did I get it right that time?
Lynn was the lady that called a little earlier. She's the one that wrote this. Her novel is called To Be His Soulmate. It's a vampire novel. And she was a guest on my show a few weeks ago, and Lynn and I just really hit it off because she writes about vampires, and then she found out about me as the 2,000-year-old vampire, and we're going to meet each other at the Spooky Empire Convention, October 25th, 26th, 27th here in Orlando.
Where is that? Okay.
Yeah, it's right here in Orlando, Florida. And she's coming in from Louisiana, and it's the first time I'm going to get to meet her in person. Mm-hmm. But we've been friends now for a little over a month, and we constantly chat with each other every day on the internet. And but she wrote this, and it's a piece from her book. But this was called Dark Val, and so this you kind of hear what my vampire character sounds like.
You know what? She might want to come on my show and tell my listeners about her book one of these days.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, she'd love to do that, yeah.
She might be noticing there's nobody in the chat room, but she ought to go look in my archives. I've had a couple 100,000 hits to those archives.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, yeah.
People just don't show up live like they used to when I was at Blog Talk Radio. And you know what? I think the biggest part of my listeners over there was radio show hosts.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm glad I picked this one out. I picked a perfect one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go.
And with his arms outstretched into the dark, a vow he made from the depths of his heart to walk within the light no more, for now their blood would settle the score. Those that murdered his true mortal love would beg for swift death to their gods up above. He'd show them no mercy as he buried his fangs, finding strength in their horror just because of their names. He'd feast on them all, sparing no generation, as he hunted the land, fathering the vampire nation.
Okay, now before we go any further, we got a caller on the air, and I think it's Lynn calling back. And there is something I forgot to mention. Skype, as you guys probably are well aware, does not have a hold system. So I've decided on a new thing last week. It just came to me that what I would do is when people called, like during an MP3 or while we were talking, because it'd go to voicemail and then they may not even try to call back, I would go ahead and add them to the group. Okay. And just tell everybody, when I add you, just listen and wait until I tell you to go ahead and speak. and then you'll be there ready. In other words, okay. So caller 985, go ahead.
That is, you are absolutely right, Royce. It's Lynn.
Yep.
Look,
Hey.
I just wanted to call and congratulate you on being able to acquire some airtime with my famed friend Victor Aurelius and that sexy beast Jeff Niles. They're great, and as Victor said, we worked together on a show a little while back, and I got to say that we talked before the show, and by the time I hung up with him, I just felt like I had been reunited with an old lost friend.
That's it. We became best friends awful quick.
Real quick.
Like one phone call, and then we did the show, and then ever since we've chatted almost every single day. And I can't wait to meet her because I'm going to give her a big hug and a kiss when I see her.
Yeah, you got it.
I wish I could be there myself.
Yeah. Oh, well, Jeff, we'd love to have you there too. But
I'd love to be there live. But I will call in.
Yeah, we're going to do 4 Blog Talk shows from the convention. We're going to do one Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and 1 Sunday. And Jeff is going to pop in probably Friday and Sunday and do the show with us. He'll be in Chicago, but he'll be doing it over Skype with us. Yes. So, but it'll be fun. But
that is when?
It will.
It's October 25th, 26th, and 27th here in Orlando. It's right near Universal Studios. It's
just wanted to get that out on the air.
It's the Doubletree Hotel. If you look at spookyempire.com, it gives you all the information there. But the hotels are all full.
Yes, definitely. I tried to make my reservations, Victor, about 2 weeks ago, and Doubletree was booked. I got the last room in the Spillover Hotel. So,
Well, Lynn, you're going to have to leave. Let Victor give me your contact info so we can set up an interview.
Yeah.
Victor knows exactly how to get in touch with me.
I'll send it. Yep.
Okay.
Where he goes, I go.
That's it.
There we go.
Yeah, I know Lynn would love to come on your show and talk about her book. So it's going to be a great book. I've been getting these little previews of it, and Lynn is just a wellspring of vampire history knowledge. She knows everything. So we're going to be talking about vampire history all that weekend for the convention, and we're going to talk about that during the show, and we'll probably do like vampire trivia, and we're going to have a ball.
I can't wait to read it either.
You know who would be a good person to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be exciting, and as you know, I missed hearing the poem because of the lag in the broadcast. But I told Victor that he made that poem. They were words on a page, but when he put his voice behind it, it made that poem. He is the master at what he does.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Lynn. I met Victor through Linnea Lee, the author of Atlantis, and one year she says, one time she's going to be on there, says, you mind if I invite a friend of mine, Victor? And I'm like, sure, bring him on. And, well, like you and him, me and Victor just hit it right off. We became friends right away.
I did a couple promos for Royce for 2 different radio shows, and anytime he needs something, all he has to do is ask, and I'll record something for him.
I think I got caught up in the Victor aura myself.
But,
real fast.
Yeah, Victor's a really easy person to meet, and he does really fantastic voice work. He did my intro for my old show, Paranormal Palace, and then when I got ready to do variety shows and give up the exclusive paranormal. I still do paranormal, just not exclusively now. He did my variety intro for me, so I got a real quick one-on-one on the voice of Victor Aurelius, which is Aurelius, which is very minied. It's like a diamond. It's multifaceted.
Yes.
Well, the first recording was probably about 3 years ago, so.
Yeah, and the difference between the two, it was very noticeable. I just played the one. Here's the one for this show here, Talk Now Radio, and I better move it. I don't have it in the Queen, because I know what'll happen if I do it now. Here it goes. Listen to Victor's voice there.
Filmmakers, entertainment, and all your listening needs. Listen now to Talk Now Radio, where no topic is taboo.
Now, this one is 3 years ago, the first one he did for me.
Welcome to Palace Radio, where truth equals reality, and truth is often stranger than fiction.
I don't know where the bark came from.
I don't know.
It's mine.
Oh, your dog?
Okay.
I'm guilty.
But did you guys catch the vast difference from 3 years ago to today?
It's like a violin that's been played by the master's hands. It just got better, didn't it?
Well, the voice changes. It's just, it's just a voice that I do. I turn it on and off, but the problem was when I was doing the radio show at the very beginning, when we started doing Blog Talk 3 years ago, I was doing the voice through the entire episode, and by the end of the show, I couldn't talk for like 2 days afterward. And so I kind of softened the voice up a little bit more so I could do it longer, but it's still, today, I spent 5 hours today recording things for my Halloween episode. And, so I do the voice, but it's a little different now. So,
yeah.
So it does take a toll on you then.
If I do it the old way, it was so raspy and it just was, it just really just destroyed my voice. So I softened it up a lot now, and I don't do it as rough as I used to do it. So he kind of mellowed out through the years. So.
Well, I never knew the difference until I played both of them back to back.
I listened to a lot of old recordings I did for Linnea about 10 years ago. And then listened to stuff that I've recorded for everybody just, this year. And the quality is so much different. I use different equipment now, and I use different programs. And the music that I use is so much better. We deal with a couple groups that have free music for different productions and sound effects, and also I have a huge library of music and sound effects now, thousands and thousands of things, tens of thousands of pieces. So
equipment does make a difference.
And it's so much better quality now, and the voice is a little different than it used to be, but it's getting a lot of use now. So I do a lot of recording.
Do you ever do, say you and Jeff do haunted house sounds?
Haunted house sound.
I mean, do you think, for instance, you could create a whole play of the different noises of a haunted house, for like a voice show that people could listen to, make it sound like you're actually going through a haunted house, even if you're not? Maybe I'm not describing it real good.
Well, I know what you mean. You mean all the the spooky sound effects and voice and scary voiceover
and then
stuff.
Throw your voiceovers into the right places and.
Oh yeah.
I could do my evil laugh all the time.
Yeah. Well, we do all these productions, and you'll hear some of the productions that I sent you. That Jeff and I do a lot of different voices in there, and but. Yeah, we do a lot of scary stuff and a lot of, we do horror, we do adventure, we do some comedy, we do some comedy too, yeah. So, the Misadventures of Sherlock Holmes is like really funny stuff, so.
I like it.
And it was, that's the first production I was involved in with Jeff was just doing, a couple little lines for one of his, Misadventures episodes. And then we jumped into doing Littlest Children. I asked him if he wanted to be involved with it, and so he helped me out with that because the company I was with kind of dropped me, and they didn't like the adult language, and they didn't like me having the freedom that I had.
And I don't care.
And Jeff says, "Hey, come over to my page. Come over to my website, and you can do whatever you want." And ever since then, we just we did whatever we wanted.
I don't believe in censorship, so
no.
Well, I got some good news. Stanley came back.
Oh, good.
I'm happy to see him. Stanley is going to be on my show later this month. He is the author of, I want to say the name of the book is Paranormal Investigations, but he is Cajun Ghost Stories. He does investigations in Louisiana, picks up a lot of EVPs, and the man is really phenomenal with some of the things that he's gotten on his EVPs.
Wow.
He does a fantastic job. I never read his book yet, but I've heard some great reviews on it.
Nice.
But the guy's been on my show before, and he comes back frequently as a listener which just makes me feel so good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, and he's back in the chat room listening right now. He's one of the people I got scheduled for this month, because I figured would be just perfect for Halloween to hear about Cajun ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Very cool.
That's going to work out pretty doggone good. But I was thinking, if y'all ever had a chance to work out one of those things for Halloween, I would be more than happy to play it if you had it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't go out of your way, but I'm just talking about sometimes you happen to be doing it for your one of your projects anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what kind of projects y'all are going to have in the future.
Well, the projects we do are, it's just, they're pre-written scripts, and we have a lot of actors that send us their lines, and then I piece it all together and put it together with music and sound effects. So it's kind of like, each one is its own production. It's like doing a mini movie.
Right.
And they take weeks to do, because, I mean, it may take me several days to write a short script, or a month to write a long script, but.
Oh, okay.
But but the production itself, generally we do productions anything between 15 minutes to close to 30 minutes, and they take several days to like 2 weeks to produce, because it's like 8-hour, 10-hour days, and
Also,
go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say it also depends on how soon people get their lines in.
Yeah. Well, once we get everything is when I usually start, and then, but I always tell people it's generally an hour to 2 hours per minute putting it together. But that's the final production. There's still hours of work before that, and sometimes I'll spend days just looking for sound effects.
And he'll send me scenes and stuff, and I'll review them.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure everything is.
So a lot of people don't realize how much really goes into this.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Okay. So. Well, listen, guys, we got this Haven of Dante clip. Why don't we play that one?
Okay. Let me give a little bit of a detail on it. Jeff and I both do voices in this, and it was written by Leonardo Ramirez. This is actually the prologue to his book, and it's a sequel to Dante's Inferno. It's a modern telling of Dante's of the Dante family taking place today. And this prologue, we did it. It was about a 25-minute recording, but I just sent you a few minutes of it, like 2 or 3 minutes of it.
Okay.
And what it is it's the prequel. It's just after Dante's Inferno and before what his book is about. It's Dante and his master. Climbing out of the pit of hell, with the demons climbing up the walls of hell, trying to get at them before they can reach heaven. And so this is a little bit of the scene. It's Jeff and I playing the two characters. I play the narrator, and I play Dante. And Jeff, I can't remember what your character's name is, but I know you play the master, and you play the demon in the pit too.
Right. Oh yes.
So he played two voices, and I played two voices.
Sounds like he's playing devil's advocate there.
Yep, yeah.
So, all right, let's give her an ear.
When the robed man lost his footing on the steaming rock face, his scabbard slamming against his back, his companion and master, in a frantic rush to his friend, swiftly reached out his hand. He could barely keep his own footing on the crumbled rock beneath his feet.
Cling fast!
A voice from the wall of the pit rumbled, then worked up to a high-pitched,
"No, you will never leave this place."
The voice screeched. A deeper growl emanated from the darkness, followed in suit.
With impudent arrogance, you have desecrated our realm.
Worriedly, the man gazed up into the waiting eyes of his faithful friend. Virgil reached out with his other hand towards a sturdy boulder just beyond his reach. Virgil had accompanied him to this dreadful place as his master and guide through each trial and each victory, along every step of the way, as a good friend would.
"Cling fast! Hold!"
said the master, panting wearily.
"For by such stairs it behooves us to depart from this evil."
Virgil slipped on the fragile rock that gave way under his foot. The robed man looked down into the abyss, and then up again in resignation at Virgil. Should the evil consume me, my master, the pain of loss may be no more.
Think not on this path, my brother. For should this evil be thine, it shall surely be thy master, and replace your pain with a greater torment.
Virgil hastened and managed to grab his hand. "Ah!" cried the robed man, almost losing his grip. Virgil strengthened his hold on his brother's hand and pulled, the weight of his friend taxing him. He secured his feet behind a sturdy rock and used his legs to pull harder. Virgil stretched his arm toward a shorter hold, just beyond his reach.
Come nigh unto me,
he prayed. Virgil quickly decided that the rock was indeed too far, and instead focused his attention on his grip, joining one hand to the other.
Strength, I pray thee, bestow on my unsteady hands.
He pulled harder and slipped. Just before Virgil would have fallen over the precipice, the robed man managed to grab hold of the ledge just above him. Virgil scurried onto his feet and pulled his robe off. He hurried to tie it around the boulder that he had previously tried to get hold of, and went back to his friend.
Take hold!
He threw it down, and as he did, his eyes wandered into the abyss. Two glowing eyes on the inside wall of the abyss stared with great contempt at the ones who dared to taint their domain. Two more eyes appeared in the darkness. Then 4 eyes became looming shadows moving towards the trespassers.
Oh, heavens above, and angels beware!
What is it?
A beast has departed the ice lake of Cocytus, and demands a feast. Haste! Pull!
The robed man pulled with all his might as the crusts of rock fell into the darkness.
Wow, that was wicked.
You like that, huh?
Jeff, you had to be the one that had that one kind of a deep setter voice,
He was the demon in that, so.
Yeah, the demon.
Yeah.
But, y'all each have, great voices for what you're doing, but unique voices. Like they're just tailor-made to certain parts.
Well, I actually can do a lot of different voices.
Oh, I didn't mean you couldn't do different voices, but,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. We both do accents and voices and impressions and, all that. And I do for so many other poets and authors, or on my website on the, it's www.victoraurelius.com. And there's a page on there that says Whispers from the Voice and Videos from the Voice. And those are all the MP3s and poems and stories I've done for, authors, poets, for our Whispers in the Dark show on Blog Talk Radio.
Yes.
So both websites, all of our stuff's between both of the websites.
Yes.
But all the production things that Jeff and I have done are all on the 4077 site. And we've been really busy because we did so many episodes of different shows now, and we've got so many continuing things now. So we did a series called Lilith's Children. 2 years ago, we did that, and that ran 10 episodes, and we plan eventually to do a second season of that. And we're doing now a series called Victoria, Empress of the Universe.
Yes.
And we did
last year's Scary Christmas.
Actually, last time I talked to you guys, y'all said y'all were making your work available online.
Yep.
Now, I gotta know, are y'all still making it? I mean, you weren't charging for it yet, in other words.
Oh, no.
Are y'all still doing the same thing?
Oh, yeah, it's all free. It's all free. You go right on the 4077.blogspot.com, and all of our productions are there. Yes, and then, the poetry and stories that I do, like I did for Linnea Lee.
Word go. You guys, like I say, y'all are calling this the 4077 MASH because it reminds you of MASH, right?
Well, because the initials of our show, The Misadventures of Sherlock Holmes, is MOSH. So we started calling ourselves the 4077.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's easier to understand now. I have to tell you, I always got reminded because I used to watch that show on a regular basis.
Oh, me too.
Everybody did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Best show, yeah.
Still somewhere on, I have the last episode on tape somewhere.
Yeah.
You remember videotape, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do y'all do a lot of scary type works?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got stuff for Halloween that we're producing, and I actually have a scary Christmas thing that's going to be coming out right before Christmas, too, so we got to work on that yet, but it's going to be coming. But